Hello, I am Gibson Shamar and I welcome you to another video talking about how I would have made certain movies. Well, the stories, at least. Last week, we left how I would have done Solo 2 on a sort of cliffhanger. This week, we're going to resolve it and tell the rest of the story. So if you haven't seen the last video, I suggest you go see it to understand what's going on here. If you don't care, you can keep watching this one. Either way, I'll continue. So we last saw the crew on Obadiah and they were enacting their plan. Things got weird because Han just came across Kira. There, we're caught up. So she greets him innocently. He is confused when he sees her and a bit speechless. Sal collects the crates he needs and wonders why Han is not answering. Han asks Kira what she is doing there. She says that she's there looking for him. Han asks how she knew that he was there. She says that she has information on many people of interest and that he's the most important to her. She says that she has been trying to find him, so she kept an eye out for him until she heard that he took the job to get spies from the Pikes. Han asks why she thought it would be good to find him in the middle of a job instead of waiting until it was over. She says that she wants out of the criminal life and to finally be with him like they had always planned to be. Sal continues calling for Han and asking for some sort of distraction because there are guards near him. Han doesn't pay attention to him. Han says that it's a bit too late for that since she just left and he was off on his own. She apologizes and says that it was to keep him safe. Han says that he never needed that kind of protection by her. She agrees and says that she learned from her mistake and wants to make amends. Sal is caught by the guards and is taken in by them. Han hears that part. He tells Kira that this is very bad timing and says that she can help him get the spice away. She says that she has two people with her who are also trying to leave the underworld behind, who she sent to help Sal out. Han says that they did one hell of a job with that, seeing as how he just got captured. Kairish and Dandan are uncomfortable in their position, but Kairish tries to keep his composure. Dandan laughs. The people they are negotiating with find that odd. Kairish says that Dandan is like that they shouldn't pay any mind to him. Kairish continues to try and stall with negotiation tactics until Sal is brought to the Pike Syndicate heads. They question him and he refuses to answer anything. Kairish and Dandan are more lost than ever when they see that Sal has been brought there. Han then walks into the room and talks like he's a bounty hunter along with Kira. Kira's people are in the storage area and have planted bombs. While Han and Kira try to pass themselves off as bounty hunters, the explosives go off in the storage area. Han and Kira use the momentary distraction to free Sal and get going. The whole crew runs out after a brief gunfight. They make it out of the fortress and Sal goes to the storage area to get the crates. Han chases after him and Kira chases after Han. The rest of them go to the Falcon with Pike security on their tails. Han tells Kira that this is not the ideal way to meet again. Kira says that this is what it's always like with them. They get to Sal and he gets mad at Han for abandoning him. Han says that they had unexpected company. Sal looks at Kira and says, "Yeah, I'll bet." They push the crates out and start running to where the Falcon is. Han calls Chewie so that he takes the Falcon to them, as they won't be able to reach it in time. Han asks Kira where her people are. Two masked people with jet boots fly over them and shoot at the security forces chasing them. Sal asks where all of this is coming from. They get to a certain point where they are surrounded by the security forces, then the Falcon shows up and the security forces are shot by Dandan and Kairish, who are operating the guns. They all board the Falcon and Han gets to the cockpit and tells Chewie to take off quickly. They get to outer space and Han tells Chewie to punch it. They go to hyperspace. Show the head of the Pike Syndicate disappointed with what is going on. He says that whoever that was did not see the last of him. Aboard the Falcon, Sal gets mad at Han, and so do the others. They all argue about what went wrong. Han says that in the end, they got what they went for. Sal says that it doesn't matter because he almost got them killed. Sal says that Han shouldn't be talking like he's the leader of the crew. Han tells him that Sal isn't the leader of any crew and that they are on his ship where he is captain. Kyrish tells them to calm down and that Han is overstepping when he is the problem. Han says that they don't have to keep blaming each other and that the most difficult part is done. All they have to do is get to Nalhada and deliver the goods. Dan asks who the girl is and who the two assassins are. Before Kira can speak, Han says that she's an old friend who will be answering the questions only he asks her. He pulls her aside and starts asking questions. He asks her what she really wants. She says that she's there for him and that she really wants out from the underworld. Han asks what happened to her whole deal with Dryden Voss. She says that after he died, she went to work for the real head of Crimson Dawn, but he died and now there's a vacuum of power. She left because there's a civil war going on. The two assassins, Trina and Cammy, were loyal to Maul, but had to leave because it's all falling apart. She says that she got tired of all the violence and death around her and wanted to go back to the way things were before all of this. Han says that it's a little too late for that kind of thing and that it's been 5 years without a word from her. She apologizes and he says that he doesn't want to hear any of it. He goes back to the other smugglers. Kyrish asks them where they are supposed to go now. Han says that they should get to Nalhada so that they can be done with this whole thing and go back home. Dan says that this job wasn't even as hard as he thought it was going to be. Kyrish says that the Pike Syndicate knows their faces and that they are lucky that they are still alive. He says that spice dealers are not to be trifled with. He says that it would be better if they had stolen their money than their spice. Dan says that it wasn't theirs to begin with. Sal laughs at that and says that the Hutts have been going at this for a while with the Pikes. He says that there's a shadow war going on between the major crime families. He says that they're not as united as they once were. He says that there's a lot of internal sabotage in their ranks and that the Empire is slowly dismantling them. Kyrish asks Sal how he would know that. Sal says that it's what makes sense. Han asks why the Hutts would want to steal from the Pikes without being provoked. The Hutt cartel is the biggest crime family in the galaxy. Kira steps in and says that their position has been threatened for a while and that they have to cripple everyone around them to keep that power. Sal is impressed with what he hears and compliments her. He doesn't just compliment her insight but her beauty as well. Han is visibly not happy with this but doesn't say anything. Kira says that Crimson Dawn had intel on the Hutt crime families and wanted to sell it to the Empire. The intel stated that the Hutts wanted to expand further and crush any potential rival family. They wanted to take over the spice trade, and for that they needed to cripple the Pike Syndicate. Kyrish asks how she knows all of this. She says that she was working with the Crimson Dawn. Kyrish asks why she should be trusted if she's so willing to give out the information like this, and how she just showed up conveniently there. She says that she's trying to leave it all behind. Sal asks what Kyrish's problem is. Kyrish says that he's skeptical of coincidences. He looks at Han. Han doesn't say anything. Kyrish then stands up and goes away. Han goes to the cockpit. Sal says that they need time to cool off. Han goes to the cockpit to sit with Chewie. Chewie growls. Han says that Kira is back. Chewie growls. Han says that he knows. Chewie growls again. Han says that he knows. Chewie growls again. Han says that everything that Chewie is saying is just rehashing what happened 5 years ago. On the border with Hutt Space, aboard Moff Bonteri Star Destroyer, there is a lot of activity. There are many TIE fighters landing on the Star Destroyer. Bonteri is in his private office. An aide requests to come in and he does. The aide tells him that an incoming message has come to their attention. He says that there was activity on Obadiah. He says that the Pike Syndicate was hit by what could only be a rival family. Bonteri says that it is good that they are suffering. The aide says that there's a message that was sent to him. Bonteri asks if it's from the Pikes, asking for his help. The aide says that it's not. It comes from a more personal source. Bonteri tells the aide to send him the message. On the Falcon, as it's on its way to Nalhada, Han is in the cockpit and Chewbacca is sleeping. Kira goes to the cockpit and sits in the co-pilot's chair. Han says that Chewie won't like that. Kira says that she hopes he doesn't see her there then. Han asks her what she wants. Kira says that she already explained herself. Han asks what she wants at that moment precisely. She says that she wants some of the money that he'll be getting for the job. He laughs at her. He tells her that if she wanted in on it, she should have gone for the tryouts. She says that it was too late for that by the time she heard about it. He tells her that she should have looked into it sooner. They stay quiet for a while. She says that this is the kind of thing she imagined for them. He says that he imagined the same thing, but it won't be like that for them. She accepts that it won't change and that she could at least get some of the money after helping out on the job so that she can disappear. He asks her where she plans on going. She says that Lamu sounds like a nice place to be. It is far from industrial planets and nature is so soothing there. He says that he never imagined that she would have had that kind of ambition. She says that she learned to appreciate it more. She says that all of this made her reevaluate everything she thought was better for her. He says that we all learn our lessons a little too late. She nods. She apologizes again for leaving when she did. He asks her when her boss died. She says that she doesn't know the exact date, only that he disappeared while looking for someone he used to know. Since they had not heard from him, they sought to take power. He asks her who the two assassins are. She says that they are twins from Onderon and that they were sold to the Crimson Dawn. They were trained by Maul to be his private assassins. Han nods. He tells her that he'll think about giving her some of his money. She thanks him. Chewie gets to the cockpit and looks at her. She greets him nervously. He growls. She sits on the seat behind the co-pilot's seat. Han shakes his head. He says that he doesn't want to see her again after the job is done. The ship drops out of hyperspace and slows down. Han wonders where they are. Chewie growls. Han wonders why they are stopping at Sleherion. Chewie growls. Han says that they are better off stopping further in hot space than Sleherion, and that he's gonna have to talk to Kyrish about this. They then see a Star Destroyer. Before they can get away, the Falcon gets caught in a tractor beam. They get taken into the ship. It turns out that Bonteri's Star Destroyer is the one that's there. Han tells Chewie to calm down. Kira is also stressed. Han and Chewie go to alert the others. Han tells them to hide the spice in the compartments of the Falcon. Sal wonders why this is happening and asks if Han's entire smuggling career is getting captured everywhere. Kira tells Cammy and Trina not to do anything rash. The Imperials tell the crew to step out of the Falcon. They all step out of the Falcon and are arrested. They are taken to Bonteri, who asks them who they are. Han says that they're a merry band of travelers. Bonteri says that he is lying. Sal says that Bonteri is in the wrong part of space. Bonteri says that he got a good lead on the group. Kyrish is revealed to be a traitor who sold them out. He is revealed to be an Imperial spy who gets jobs like these and gets the people involved arrested and executed. Han says that he thought that Kyrish fought in the Clone Wars. Kyrish says that he did and was on the side of the Separatists. He now works for the Empire because they represent his ideals. Dan Dan laughs and is shot by a stormtrooper. He dies. The others look in horror. Han tells Bonteri that this is unfair and that they are being held without having done anything. Bonteri says that they are guilty of smuggling spice. Chewie growls. Han agrees with Chewie. Sal offers a deal with Bonteri. Bonteri says that he's not for sale and is trying to rid the galaxy of people like him. Han says that they make the universe a better place. Bonteri says that that's not what they do. He says that they are poisoning the galaxy and the Empire has much bigger problems to deal with. Han says that they should be let go then. Bonteri says that such a thing won't happen and that they will all be executed. He tells his forces to take the crew to the execution block and asks who the captain is. Sal says that he is the captain. Han looks at him funny, then says that he is the captain. Kyrish tells Bonteri to take both of them and round everyone else up for execution. Bonteri tells them to do exactly that. Han looks at Chewie and Kira. Kira says that she'll be fine. The two men are taken into an interrogation room where they are interrogated separately. Bonteri asks them who is the real captain. Both say that they are. The way this scene is shown is that it intercuts between both of their interrogations. Han explains that he is the captain and is the best pilot in the galaxy. He talks about how he made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. Sal says that he is the captain of the Minot Claw, the fastest ship in the sector. Bonteri asks who they are working for. Han says that he doesn't work for anyone, then says that he is working for the Empire. Sal says that he is working for people that Bonteri should be afraid of. Han says that he has been in the business for a couple of hours. Sal says that he has been in it his whole life. After all the interrogation, Bonteri is shown scratching his head. He says that he doesn't like these kinds of things. Kyrish comes to him and says that he needs his pay. He asks when he will get it. Bonteri tells him that he will get his pay when he gets the two captains to confess their involvement with the Hutts. Getting these confessions recorded will justify the Empire's more practical approach in dealing with criminals to the Senate. Kyrish says that he can get them to talk. The others are being taken to the execution quarters with an escort. Kira gets close to Chewie and tells him that she has a plan to get out. Chewie growls. Kira says that once they get to the destination, they should act it out. Chewie growls. Kira looks at Cammy and Trina. They are all shackled and seem to be in sync. Han is visited in the interrogation room by Kyrish. He calls Kyrish a traitor. Kyrish says that he has been in the game for a short time if he thinks he can trust everyone he comes across. He tells Han that he should know that this kind of stuff happens all the time everywhere, and it's the problem with having trust in people. Han says that he doesn't care what Kyrish has to say. Kyrish says that he should listen anyway, then says that he can cut a deal with Bonteri to be set free as long as he confesses to be aligned with the Hutts. Han says that he doesn't know what Kyrish is talking about. Kyrish says that things are only going to get worse for him if he keeps going like this. Han says that he still doesn't understand what's happening and wouldn't be able to answer anything. Kyrish stands from his seat and lifts Han up by the collars. He tells Han to speak up. Han says that he has no idea what's being talked about. Kyrish throws Han to the ground. Sal is being taken by a security detail and is handcuffed. He tries to fight but is then overpowered by the superior numbers. He manages to get a key to set himself free during the scuffle. The others in the crew are led to the execution chamber, which is just an airlock. They are lined up. Kira signals Cammy and Trina with a nod and they begin to fight. Chewie breaks free from his shackles and helps Kira get free. They take out the guards and Kira says that they have to get to the Falcon. Han is bleeding and spits out blood. Kyrish explains to him how the Republic disappointing him back in the day with all of their bureaucracy and slow decision-making. He says that he wants order and structure and that Han represents everything that goes against that. Kyrish says that he hates Han most of all, not because of his antics to get a spot, but because of the way he thinks. He says that Han thinks too far outside the box and that makes him dangerous. That was what made him go against the Republic in the Clone Wars. Han says that he doesn't care what side he chose and that he just wants to get paid and leave. Kyrish says that Han isn't suited for this life. He says that Han may be crude and dark on the outside, but underneath it all, he's just a soft man who can't make the hard choices when times get tough. He says that Han likes to look edgy, but his spirit is noble, and the underworld is not the place to be noble in. Kyrish punches him. The alarm starts blaring and there's a lot of commotion. Han knows what that means. He smiles and stands up, manages to get away from Kyrish. Kyrish gives chase. Kira and her assassins kill their way to the Falcon, along with Chewie. Sal breaks free from his bonds and makes his way to the Falcon with some mishaps along the way, like getting lost. He destroys the tractor beam in one of the places he comes across. Han gets lost as well and stops at the wrong floor at times. Eventually, they all meet at the Falcon. Kira, Chewie, and the twins are already inside. Han and Sal get to the Falcon, shooting at the stormtroopers together. Sal runs into the Falcon while Han provides cover fire and they get in. They find stormtrooper corpses in there while rushing to the cockpit. Han gets to the cockpit and finds Chewie setting the adjustments. Han tells Chewie to strap in for them to make their escape. He says that the tractor beam better be off, otherwise this is not going to end well. The Falcon starts up as Kyrish steps into the room with his guns ready and a group of stormtroopers. The Falcon takes off. Kyrish is angry. Cut to Bonteri, who is also upset, and he says that they won't escape him that easily, then tells the personnel to begin pursuit. TIE fighters are dispatched and they start to fire on the Falcon as it makes its getaway. The Star Destroyer is also pursuing them. Han's skills as a pilot are put to the test as he cleverly maneuvers through the TIE fighters. Kira gets to the cockpit and so does Sal. Han tells Sal to go operate the cannons. Kira sits in the cockpit and tells Han that this is just like old times. Han smiles. Sal destroys a few of the TIE fighters and Bonteri becomes increasingly frustrated. He says that if they don't take that ship down soon, it will escape into hyperspace. If that happens, it will be impossible to track them. Han tells Kira to strap in because they're about to go to lightspeed. Before she can, they see Kyrish attack them in a TIE fighter. He is also a skilled pilot, and we have an extended dogfight between them where neither one is shot down and more TIE fighters join in. Bonteri tells the crew to follow the Falcon as closely as possible and try the experimental technology of tracking enemy fighters through hyperspace. Han eventually gets to lock in the coordinates for the jump to lightspeed while the Imperials on the Star Destroyer lock in on the Falcon's calculations. Han makes the jump and they get to Nal Hutta. The Star Destroyer appears behind them and the fighting continues. Sal wonders why Bonteri is there and if he isn't scared of the Hutts. Han then gambles on a crazy plan. He says that he's going to make the jump to Saika. Kira says that is a crazy idea because Saika is more than 24 jumps away, and that a precise calculation would take a long time to make, time that they don't have. Han says that that's the risk he's going to take. Sal calls Han crazy for trying something so reckless. Han says that it will work. Chewie gets into a frenzy as well. Han calms Chewie down and tells him that it will be alright, and that if it doesn't work, they can kill him. Kira says that they'll be long dead before they can do that. Han says that if they don't do what it takes, they'll keep getting tracked down wherever they go. Han flies the Falcon and dodges as much as he can, but then the Falcon suffers a few hits and says that he will do it. The others beg him not to do it. Kira says that she has a bad feeling about this. Bonteri tells them to lock on to the calculations and follow suit. The Falcon makes the jump and so does the Star Destroyer. The crew in the Falcon sees many wonders of the galaxy as the ship slows down from time to time due to insufficient fuel and thrust. Bonteri's people tell him that there's no fixed trajectory. Bonteri says that it doesn't matter. He says that he will catch them. The Star Destroyer eventually catches up to them. Both ships get to the core region of the galaxy, then enter the deep core and get to the black hole. The Star Destroyer gets sucked into the black hole while the Falcon manages to get past it before Han realizes that there's another black hole. There are two of them close together. So he navigates the Falcon at an angle that avoids it getting sucked in. The ship shakes and the crew members are worried. Show a close-up of Han in order to show his determination. Han manages to make a break and head to Saika. They get to Saika and land on the planet. Sal and the two assassins immediately get off the ship and go down on their knees. They are disoriented. Han and Kira are breathing hard on the cockpit. Chewie grabs Han and shakes him. Han tells Chewie that they are fine, that they made it. Chewie lets go of him and he and Kira laugh. Kira says that Han is out of his mind. She says that what they just did is impossible. She says that they just crossed the deep core and nobody has ever done that before, and that nobody would even try to replicate that. Han says that it's all in a day's work. They stay silent for a while and she looks at him with admiration. She says that she missed this. He says that this is pretty much what happens all the time and that it's standard procedure. She asks him how he knows about the planet. He says that he once had a job that was near the system and he took a look at the planet. Kira says that the Falcon's hyperfuel reserves are depleted. Han says that it's fine because he knows some junkyard dealers there and is going to contact one. Chewie goes outside to get on solid ground. He starts cheering. Han tells Kira that he always wanted to do that. She says that he was reckless to endanger their lives like that. They laugh together and he says that it was a gamble but it had to be done. She asks him how he got his hands on the falcon since Lando loved it so much. Han says that he won it from him. She doesn't believe him and he insists. Eventually, they go outside and see the full extent of the damage that the falcon suffered. There is smoke coming out from many of its parts. Kira looks at Han. Han says that it's nothing to worry about. Kira says that the falcon is going to need a new engine. Sal goes to him and says that it's not just a new engine. He will have to get new vertical, orbital, and horizontal thrusters. Kira reminds Han of the need for hyperfuel. Chewie growls. Han says, of course we need a new hyperdrive engine too. Sal says that Han could have blown them out of space and gotten them all killed. Han says that they made it and that it's all in a day's work. Sal sighs when he hears that. Han says that it's going to be taken care of. Skip to the night and show that Han is shaking hands with the junkyard dealers while the others have started a campfire. Han joins them. Sal says that Han is a crazy pilot. Han nods. He then asks if Kira's assassins ever talk. Trina says that they talk when it's necessary. Kira says that being slaves meant that they could only talk when given permission. They got used to being silent. Chewie growls. Han says that Chewie is right. He says that this has been one heck of a day. Sal says that this job has had its ups and downs, but Han shouldn't get too comfortable because he almost compromised the job. Han gets angry and asks who saved everyone. Sal says that Han got them stranded on a planet in the unknown regions because he wanted to show off to his girlfriend. Han says that that is not true. Sal asks which part isn't between the girlfriend part and the showing off part. Han says both, but then falls back when he realizes what he said. Kira says that that is not important at the moment, and what is important is that they're about to complete the job. All they have to do is get to Nal Hutta. Sal scoffs and says that she shouldn't be talking so comfortably since she isn't even part of the crew. She just tagged along at the last minute. She stays silent when he says that. Han says that Sal has a lot to say for someone who doesn't do much himself. Sal says that that's because Han keeps getting in the way. Han says that Sal will be free to be caught and killed whenever he wants once the job is done. Later, it's just Han and Kira at the campfire. She thanks him for standing up for her. He asks her why she showed up when she did. She says that she already told him why. He says that he's not buying it. She then sighs and says that she left him because she wanted to take over Crimson Dawn and be Maul's equal. She wanted to conquer the underworld and become its queen. He says that that's not like her at all. She says that she knows, and she only realized it too late, and it took multiple attempts on her life for her to realize that. He says that she has a lot of catching up to do if she wants to join him, and is going to have to get used to not being the boss if she wants to join him. She says that she is open to that, but it'll take a bit of getting used to. They embrace. The next day, after the repairs are done, which will be shown, and we get to see Han and Chewie do the repairs with the help of the crew, and we see Kira watching Han happily and in admiration, they leave the planet and head to Nal Hutta. They arrive at Nal Hutta and depart the Falcon. Han, Sal, and Kira go to meet the Hutts who ordered the spice. Chewie and the twins take the crates. The humans meet the Hutts, who welcome them. One asks where Kira came from since Jabba didn't tell them about her. She says that she joined in late. The Hutts say that one of the top figures in Crimson Dawn is not allowed anywhere near their sector. She says that she left Crimson Dawn and wants to start a new life. Han vouches for her. The Hutts tell them to leave the spice and leave the planet immediately. Sal thanks them for their hospitality and they leave the fortress immediately. Sal tells Han that they got off easily. They all get to the Falcon and take off. Han says that all they need to do is get their pay from Jabba and they can all go their separate ways. Kira smiles. They arrive on Tatooine and head to Jabba's palace after Han lands the Falcon at the familiar hangar. On the way there, Han says that the life he always envisioned with Kira could finally become a reality. She smiles when she hears that. She says that she looks forward to it. They get to Jabba's palace and are taken to Jabba himself. Sal tells Jabba that the job is done and that all they need is their pay. Jabba asks where the others are. Han says that they died. Jabba says that they get more money then and tells his people to transfer them the credits. Bib Fortuna, who is with him, recognizes Kira and wonders why she is there. She says that she's there to collect the money for the job she has done. Bib asks what job that is. Kira signals the twins and they disarm the guards there and aim their weapons at Jabba. Han, Sal, and Chewie are shocked at this. Kira says that she is there to execute Jabba because he has been overstepping his boundaries. She says that he has been interfering with the growth of Crimson Dawn long enough. Han asks her why she is doing this if she said that she is leaving Crimson Dawn. She doesn't answer. Sal exclaims that he always knew that she was dirty. Greedo shows up and shoots at one of the twins, and the shootout starts. Han rushes for cover, and so do Chewie and Sal. Bib runs away while Jabba is shielded by security. Many people die during the shootout, and Han takes out one of Jabba's forces, who is about to shoot Kira. In the skirmish, Trina dies. Sal runs away. Jabba makes a getaway. Kira tries to chase after him but is stopped by Han. Han asks her why she is doing this. She says that she doesn't get to have a free life as long as Jabba is alive. She says that he wouldn't understand. He says that that's all she ever says. They fight together against Jabba's forces and Chewie joins them. Kira says that Jabba is the one who was hiring all the hitmen who targeted her while she was trying to take over Crimson Dawn. Han asks why he would do that. She says that all the crime families do that to each other and have been going at it for more than ever recently. Han says that this is crazy, that they could have gotten away together. She says that she doesn't see any way they could get away with if Jabba is still alive. She goes to a tunnel and tries to chase after Jabba. Han goes after her and Chewie follows. Cammy follows Kira. They go to the tunnel where Jabba supposedly escaped from, and Kira fights off a few guards. Cammy joins her and dies. Han saves Kira from death and they have a moment. She says that she loves him, then stabs him. She says that he will never understand and runs after Jabba. When she gets close to Bib, who is at the end of the tunnel, he says that this isn't Jabba's escape route, but a diversion to stop scum like her. He blows out the tunnel. The tunnel starts crumbling and Chewie helps Han up. They manage to escape the tunnel before it falls apart completely and get outside. Sal has just finished fighting off all the people that were there trying to stop him from leaving. He looks at Han and says that this hasn't been a good job at all. Han says that the feeling is mutual. Sal says that they're going to have to do what they have to do. Han understands that all too well. They have a stare down, but before they can do anything, a TIE fighter flies in and tries to kill them. It's Kyrish. They run for whatever cover they can and shoot at it with their blasters, to no effect. They then come up with a plan, and it is just crazy enough to work. They get land speeders and try to fight off Kyrish with them. Han tells Chewie to blast some wreckage, and it creates a ramp. While Sal is distracting Kyrish, Han rides up the ramp and hits the TIE fighter with his land speeder. The TIE fighter goes down and Kyrish gets out. He goes after the trio and beats Sal up. He then beats Han up and says that Bothans don't go down so easily. Chewie grabs him, throws him high into the air, then shoots him with his crossbow while he's in the air, blowing him up. Sal and Han stand up and glare at each other. Sal says that he is still going to kill Han, but it'll have to wait for another day. He goes off into the desert on the land speeder he was using. Han and Chewie watch him go. Han says that Chewie was right. He says that Kira was still up to her old tricks. Chewie growls. Han says that they should get going. They then ride to the hangar where the Falcon is, and before they can get in, they are captured by Jabba's forces and taken back to the palace. Jabba asks them who Kira was, and Han says that he doesn't know who she is. Jabba says that he has worked with scum in the past, but Han is the type of scum he likes to keep around because they keep people on their toes. He offers Han a spot as a smuggler. Han looks at Chewie. Chewie nods in agreement. Jabba says that there's an upcoming job that he could use Han for. Cut to Han and Chewie starting up the Millennium Falcon, all cleaned up. It has been a while since their adventure. Han says that he knew that it was all going to work out. Chewie growls. Han asks when he has ever been wrong about this kind of thing. Chewie rolls his eyes. They take off, and that's the end. Well, that was it for Solo 2, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. See? This time the video came up on time, just like I promised. Again, sorry about the late Star Wars Day upload. Anyway, the story goes like this. I planned for there to be a third Solo movie, and it will be set before A New Hope as well. This one was meant to show him become more of the unpredictable rogue that we first meet in A New Hope. The 2018 movie didn't really leave us with that kind of impression of Han. This movie would have shown his descent into the criminal underworld. I'm sure you guys noticed that he was a tad bit different from the 2018 movie, but a bit more similar to what he was in A New Hope. At least I hope that that's what you noticed. I excluded Lando from this one because there was no space for him in the story, but he will be in the next one, so that it can be explained how Han knows where he is in Empire. Another thing that had to be done was wrap up Kira. When I started writing this, I wanted to explain why Kira isn't in the original trilogy, and why she isn't brought up or even hinted at existing. By killing her. But then, as I looked into her character, I found out that the canon comics explain that she survived up until at least just before Return of the Jedi. And understandably, I was like,
hey yo, what the fuck?
Disney was really trying to push Emilia Clarke, wasn't it? I mean, the whole industry was. They were really trying to make her an iconic character. I don't think you write a character with the intention of making them iconic. You write them, and they become iconic when the people react positively to them. At least, that's how I think it should be done. But it looks like Kira was written to be a fan favorite and iconic, and when the movie bombed, they just made comics and decided to give her the Ahsoka treatment. She's been there all along, helping in the shadows. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Well, that was that, huh? What can we do? I then decided to give her the usual apparently die in an explosion and there's no corpse or funeral trope, so that she can just appear later, since she already appears in the comic set after what would be the events of this movie. We give Han his closure. Anyway, please check out our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and the rest of our channel for more cool content. We've got a lot of nice stuff worth looking at. Have a good day.